Hi, Apostle.
Jeffrey.
As an intercessor, how would you say you distinguish a general attack from an attack on, just you interceding on behalf of like a territory or a region or a nation?
So let me make sure I understand. So how do you discern between an attack on you, just like a general attack, as a believer?
Yeah.
And then an attack because of something you prayed for, a region or a nation? Yeah. Well, that's a great question. The attacks we get as believers, just from being believers, the fiery darts he launches at us because of just our everyday life and how much he hates us, are far less intense than when you begin to enter into territorial warfare or you begin to intercede for a person. See, when we're interceding, so when we're praying to God for our needs, it's like this, it's vertical. We're praying to God. Lord, help me. Lord, help me walk worthy of my calling. Lord, help me manifest your fruit. Help me manifest your gifts. Lord, give me wisdom. That's like this. And so the enemy doesn't like that. And he may attack your mind with doubt and unbelief. When you begin to intercede, what you're doing is you're standing in a gap. And so what's the gap? Well, let's pretend like this right here is Jasmine, and she is Karabashe. So I'm just letting everybody know how much I love you. This is Jasmine here, and let's say Jasmine calls me and she says, Apostle, I'm like, I'm dealing with a lot of false accusations, or I've got, some kind of something come on my body. She's under attack. And so here's the, George, come here. You can be the devil. So he's standing right there. So George is here, and he's trying to get Jasmine. Look at him. And I come here, and I stand in the gap. So I'm standing between the devil and the one I'm praying for. That means I'm taking hits that I wouldn't take just praying to God for myself. Yeah, that's good, right? Thank you, George. So that's why you take hits as an intercessor. But if you know how to fight, so that shouldn't stop us from interceding. And you don't have to take all those hits. If you know how to fight, you'll take less hits. If you keep your shield of faith up, there's some fights that we're not supposed to fight alone. And then we enter in and we stand in a gap God hasn't called us to stand in, then we don't necessarily have the same protection. We have to feel led to pray. Now, because Jasmine's part of this church and she's a spiritual daughter, she's a daughter of the house, I'm always going to pray for her. So it doesn't matter what it is. I don't have to ask the Lord, is this my assignment? She is my assignment, right? So, but then look, when you go into territories, like I remember we started taking territory in Asia, and I started getting, this a few months ago, I started getting massively hit. And the Lord said, did you think you're just going to tiptoe into Asia and the devil wasn't going to hit you back? So that's where I need a whole bunch of more intercessors, and that's why we have 12 people in a discipleship, leadership capacity, and perhaps that we stand together. So, yeah. In 2007, the Holy Spirit woke me up in the middle of the night and told me he would bring a third great awakening to the nation. I believe we're going to see the greatest great awakening in the history of the world, and it will spill over into the nations of the earth for the glory of God. I believe we'll see a movement greater than all previous moves of God put together. And I know it's predicated on prayer. The Awakening Prayer Hub's mission in any city is to draw a diverse group of intercessors who have one thing in common: to contend for the Lord's will in its city, state, and nation. Bishop Bill Hammond, Lou Engle, Cindy Jacobs, Mike Bickle, James Gall, Alveda King, and many others are standing with us. Will you? Start a hub or find a hub in your city at awakeningprayerhubs.com.